Adrian, Bott, you've overseen the final serious gallops of the big team heading to the Gold Coast on Saturday here at Eagle Farm this morning. A little bit different. The overnight rain meant you didn't have access to those grass tracks. Is that going to affect your guys at all?
Yeah, look, obviously, a few disruptions this morning. Changed sort of what we were hoping to do with the horses, but look, ultimately they're here and they're fit and well, and they travelled up here with the majority of their work done. In terms of Stormboy, he's been up here and had the last sort of few weeks of his preparation and his previous run up here. So there've been a fair bit done in the lead up to today. So ultimately, don't think it'll hopefully not affect the bottom line, but certainly change the course what we had to do this morning.
What do you make of Stormboy from when we saw him win the McLaughlin to what you saw this morning?
He continues to mature. I think he's a horse that's only going to keep improving every time we see him step out. He's certainly done that physically. He's improved nicely. He looks great in himself. So, I think just that natural improvement we can continue to expect to see from him.
The 2-year-old race looked to lack some depth, but maybe some more depth was poured into it on Saturday with those two winners at the Gold Coast, but also the Spywire winning highlighted the form of the Wyong horse.
Yeah, look, no doubt. Look, I never see it as straightforward as that. There's always plenty of depth to the races here. They're all relatively lightly raced, and there's sort of plenty of horses that are still not fully exposed. So there's potential for plenty to keep improving. But certainly kept a good watch on those horses on the weekend, and hard not to be impressed with what you saw.
Royal Tribute is one of the top chances in the 3-year-old Guineas. He also worked on the dirt this morning.
Yeah, he did. Thought he worked up nicely. Looks fresh and well in himself. Coming off the back of a really strong win at Gosford, I thought it was excellent on that occasion. Look, obviously stepping out at the 1400 metres for the first time, but it's as by design. Felt off the couple of back of his solid runs in the spring over the 1200 metres. He just appreciate getting out to the 1400. So we sort of took a sideways step off spring to target this carnival, and really sort of looked to get him out to this trip. So hopefully there's some improvement in that regard.
Those Osmosis King's Gambit form lines from the spring are as good as 3-year-old form as there is going. So there's no doubt about his ability to win the race. So it's just that 1400 metre box. Yeah,
certainly wasn't beaten far in those races. As you said, I think that's the right form line. Some quality horses there, and I think on both of those occasions, you look, when he was challenged there, he really rallied late and sort of was as strong as any of them sort of through the line holding his ground. So that always gave us the confidence getting up in trip. But I think we're bringing the right horse, and he seems to have settled in well.
A couple of other runners in the Guineas, speaking of settling in well, Vanquished looked like he's enjoying life in Queensland. He bolted in there on Saturday.
Yeah, he was excellent. Brought some consistent form lines from Sydney. Obviously got to take a quite significant step up in grade, no doubt, but just wanted to capitalise on the opportunities. He's obviously here and doing well, and has pulled up nicely. So it's hard to ignore the prize money that's on offer sort of when he's up here in such good form.
Enz For, she was honest enough in the Vo Road?
Yeah, I thought she was excellent. Had to do a bit of work from that wide draw. Didn't necessarily love the conditions there, so I hope to see an improving track for her. I think the draw is going to be crucial. Would love to see her just ridden that little bit sort of softer in the race. I think that can help her be more effective. But again, she gave a good sight and just wasn't beaten fast, so certainly should be in amongst them.
The two debutante races have generated plenty of discussion in the past few weeks. You've got Barracuda running on Saturday off a couple of nice trials in Sydney.
He did, yeah. Look, I thought he trialled very well. He was an inexperienced horse up against one of the trialling against one of the favourites for the 2-year-old classic in Highness there. So I thought he did a good job against him. So going into the debutante race, looks a nice likely chance. It's a nice setup for him, and he's certainly deserves his spot there.
And the rest of the team, is there any other winners there that I might have missed?
Yeah, two nice fillies going into the debutante fillies version. Two-Done Lizzie, she was an impressive trialler at her only trial in Sydney. She looked naturally sharp. So I think the sort of tracking conditions up here should suit. And Dominetta, she had two trials, and I thought she was excellent in both. So she's had a pretty good grounding. They've both settled in nicely. So a couple to watch out for. So United in the staying race, coming off the back of a good strong win at Vanquished. So he should really appreciate the trip.
And you had Tim Clark here to ride most of these, if not all of them, this morning. I think Adam Hieronymus is in Sydney. You've got, 40 plus at the trials in Sydney today?
Yeah, busy morning at the trials, so Adam wasn't able to make it. Tim's up here on holidays, fortunately, so able to drag him out just to stretch his legs for the weekend. And that's always Tim. He's a big part of the team, whether he's sort of riding these horses on the weekend or not. He sort of, I think he enjoys having that involvement. He's here to help us put him through the pace and did a great job.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.